So, good morning, everyone. We are the Tan Reporters. So, today we will be discussing the chapter 10, which is the grading and reporting. So, by the way, I am Samantha Kinalayo, the first discussant of the first part of the chapter 10. But before we'll continue to our discussion, let me present to you first our learning outcomes. At the end of the chapter, you should be able to explain the functions of grading and reporting. Distinguish between criterion reference and norm reference grading. So now let's proceed. When you say grading, it's the system that a school has developed to guide how teachers assess and grade student work. Reporting, it's the system that a school has developed for the organization of assignment scores in gradebook, either online or paper, and the determination of final grades for report cards and transcripts. So why do gradings and reportings matters? Grades reflect the teacher or professor's judgment of students' level of achievement and ideally provide students with information they can use to improve their performance. It is said that there is no card giving day where there is no parent complaint or question about a child's grade. Complaints come in these forms. The grade should be higher. It should not be a failing grade. Teacher does not explain well. Teacher didn't accept a project submitted an hour or so after his or her deadline. Therefore, grading and reporting as a way of communicating assessment results should not be taken for granted. As a future teacher, it is a very important reminder to us that if we want to help our students get good grades, then we need to explain or discuss to them our grading system before conducting the assessment. Just like what our professors are doing. They are discussing with us their grading system before conducting their assessment because it is very important. Additionally, we need to review the test results after the assessment so that our students are able to know their strengths and weaknesses and they can do better to their next performance or to their next assessment. According to Bobowski 2017, communicating with students before assessment is equally important. Here are 7 things to consider discussing with your students before assessing. First, explain where the test fits in the bigger picture. So you as a teacher, you need to explain to your students that any given test is just one piece of their overall progress as students. So it is not the sole measure of their potential or their future. So for example, you give assessment and there are students that get lower scores, then they will have tantrums because they get lower scores and they will consider it as a failure, that they might not advance in their grade level, and if it is an honor student, they will consider it as a failure and they might think that they cannot already belong to the top. So you as a teacher, you need to explain that especially that one assessment is not the overall measure or it's not the overall measure of their grades. So it is just one piece of their overall progress. Second, share how the test results will affect their overall class grade. So you as a teacher, you need to communicate with your students that their test results will really affect their overall class grade, because there are students that are unaware why they are being tested, why they are being evaluated, why they are being assessed. So if you don't communicate with your students, there are tendency that it is just okay with them to get lower scores during assessment, and um, if they will get lower scores consecutively, there are possibility that they might fail that certain subject, because they are not informed why they are being tested, that they are not informed that that assessment will affect their overall class grade. Third, preempt questions about what their data will look like and who will be seeing it. So before assessment, you as a teacher, you need to communicate, you need to explain to your students before conducting assessment that you need to have this result. You need to set a standard with their test result, that for example, you will be conducting 60 items quiz, and before conducting that assessment, you need to announce that, okay, the passing grade is 40 points, or is 40, so that they are informed that um, why that their grades are affected, and there are no questions why their grades or why their data looks like that, and especially they are sharing it with their parents, so even their parents will understand why the data of their children or their students are like that. Fourth, take the fear out of the testing jargon. So there are students, when they hear the words evaluate, criteria, exam, they are scared. So you as a teacher, you need to explain to your students that when they hear those words, they don't need to be scared, because it is needed for their learning progress. The data of their assessments are needed for their learning progress, so that they can determine, both of you can determine, you as a teacher and them as a student can determine the strength and weaknesses, so that in the next performance or in the next assessment, they can do better. So you as a teacher, you need to ease their minds, that when they hear the evaluation, the examination or assessment, they don't need to be scared. Fifth, clarify the testing environment. So you as a teacher, before conducting assessment, you need to clarify that the testing schedule cannot interrupt a given week. You need to provide better clarification that can help alleviate student stress, that you need to clarify if the assessment is just a 1-day test, let them know, or it is a 3-day test or a half day, so that the given week or their supposed to be days are not be affected, and provide insights into breaks, such as whether they can use restrooms, or whether they can buy foods or take recess, and clarify to them or inform them what to bring during examination or what to bring on testing days. Sixth, make any transition to computers or tablets easy. So when when computer lab is being used as part of the testing process, you need to inform them how where the computer lab is, how to use it as part of the test, or how to log in. You as a teacher, you need to give them manual, because there are students that are less familiar with computers, even though we are now in 21st century. So better give them manual so that they can use computers easily. Seventh, provide the dates of the next assessment. So you as a teacher, you need to announce, or you need to provide when will be the next assessment administered. You need to announce what day or what time, specific time, when will be the next assessment administered, and announce if it is the same assessment, that they will be taken the same assessment or not. So you need to be clarified. Functions of grading and reporting systems. Grading and reporting systems have some very important functions in the educative process. Here are some important functions. First, enhancing students' learning. So the very first function of grading and reporting system is to enhance students' learning by showing them their strengths and weaknesses, by providing them information on personal and social development, by enhancing their motivation, such as what's the purpose why they are studying, and lastly, educating them where teaching might be modified. So we can achieve this through day-to-day tests and feedback, and also integrating periodical tests. Second, reports to parents or guardians. So one of the functions of grading system and reporting system is to report it to their guardians or parents, so that their parents or guardians might be informed about their progress, where they excel and where they need to enhance so that they will be excelled. And also, through reporting this progress to their parents can help them or their student to for their students better performance through reviewing, helping them review at home. So parents or guardians also play a vital role in their students' performance. So lastly is administrative and guidance uses. So the purpose of grading, or one of the function of grading and reporting system, is to determine who will be on the list of honors, graduating, or who will be advancing to the next grade level. So that's it. So grading and report grades and reports should be promoting and enhancing rather than frustrating and discouraging students. So before that, I would like you to remind that we are giving report cards are given to students, and then parents are asked to sign the report cards.
Good day everyone, I'm Saima Birwar and I am the second reporter for the Module 10. So the topic that I'm going to discuss was about the components of a grading system. So there are three components of a grading system according to Erashan and Russell 2008. First is the standard of comparison. Second is the aspect of performance, and the number three is the weighting different kinds of evidence. So ano nga ba itong standards of comparison? So ang standard of comparison, this refers to the benchmarks or criteria against which a student's performance is measured. So in relation to standards of comparison, the following questions are asked. So dito itatanong natin kung ano nga ba yung mga standard natin for comparison na gagamitin natin sa pag-grade ng performance ng mga learners. So will you compare a student's performance to other students' performance, or yung tinatawag nilang norm reference learning? So yun lang yung mga kailangan nating i-consider when we are measuring the student's performance. Aspects of performance. So this is the second components of a grading systems. So this is how the students' academic achievements are evaluated and measures. So these aspects of performance, so these are the particular performance that the students achieved. So this second component of grading system is the aspects of performance. So what aspects of performance must be graded? One group of educators claim only academic performance must be graded. So this academic performance to be graded include quiz and test results or the paper and pencil tests, assignments, products, and performances to show process learned, like for example, the oral reports, the projects, interviews, portfolio. So those are the performances of the students that must be graded in this second as components of grading system. So the last components of grading system is the weighting different kinds of evidence. So this refers to how much weight is given to the different aspects of components of a student's grade. So this refers on how different types of students' works or performance are given different levels of importance when evaluating when calculating a final grades. So let's take a look at the weighting of the different kinds of evidence and the deplet grading system issued in DepEd Order 8 on during 2015. The table 7 shows the weight of the components for grade 1 to 10. So in written work, in language, AP, and ASP subject, there are only 30% that is given. So in science and math, there are 40%. In MAPE, EPP, and TLE, there are 20%. So in performance tasks, 30% only in language, AP, and ASP. So in science and math, there are 40% that is given. So in MAPI, EP, and TLE, there are 60% that is, while in quarterly assessment, in language, AP, and ASP subject, there are only 20%. In science and math, 20%. MAPI, EP, TLE are 20% also. Table 8, it shows the weight of the components for senior high school. So as we can see, magkaiba sila doon sa table 7 na pinakita sa last slide. That's all of my report. Thank you so much for listening.
Student progress and grades are reported to parents through report card, parents-teacher conference, and written conference. So, meaning to say, it is described various method of communicating student program and grades to parents. So, the primary method mentioned is the report card. So, report card is a standard method of reporting student progress and grades to parents. Okay, when you say report card, I think all of us is familiar in a report card. Because we experience naman ito nung high school or senior high school tayo kung saan pinapapunta yung mga guardian or parents para magperma or makita yung grades natin if it is failed or passed. So, a report card is a document that provides a summary of a student like academic performance, a grading term or semester. It's typically include grades for individual subject, attendance, and also behavior, and also comments from teacher offering a comprehensive overview of the student progress and achievement in school. So, when you say written conference, a written conference is typically involved in changing information, ideas, or feedback through written communication channels rather than in-person meeting. Okay, so when you say written conference it is about letter na kung saan pinapadala ng teacher for parents kung mayroong problems sa school, kung saan nakalagay yung signature, kung anong date, kung para saan yung letters. So, the teachers is pwede din silang gumamit ng through online para isend yung letters. So, let's proceed to the parents-teacher conference. So, parents-teacher conference, a parent-teacher conference is a meeting between parents and teachers. So, and teacher to discuss the student academic progress, behavior, and overall well-being. So, when you say parents or teacher conference, it is, for example, it's nakukuha ko ng mababang grades, let's say na mataas ako sa math and mababa sa English. Meaning to say, pwedeng magkaroon ng parents-teacher conference or nakasanayan nating meeting na kung saan maaaring mapag-usapan ng teacher and parents kung ano yung gagamitin nilang strategies para mas ma-improve yung skills ko. So this is the sample of report card. As you can see, include all of the subject. So dito nilalagay yung mga grades natin after ma-solve. So kapag ang grading skill mo is 90 to 100, that we call outstanding. It means mataas. If 85 to 84, that we call is very satisfactory, meaning to say medyo mataas. If 80 to 84, it is a satisfactory, it is a pass. Then, if it is 75 to 79, that we called very satisfactory. But if your grades is below 75, means it is failed, mababa. So, this is the sample of report card. At you can see, makikita din dyan yung example of report of learning attendance. At you can see, merong mga month and date kung saan yan yung ginagamit ng teacher if you are present or not. So, let's proceed to the let's proceed. So, here are some reminders for school or teacher to get the most from parents-teacher conference. So, the number 1 is announce the date for card giving in advance, or better still, the school calendar which will be given at the beginning of the school year must already include the dates for card giving and parents-teacher conference. Parents are busy and cannot just be there at the school, back and call. So, meaning to say, kung as a teacher, pag dapat, you should be advanced announcements about giving, like for example, giving a card, kasi and also dapat naka-indicate yung mga date, time, kasi may mga parents na busy sa work or may mga important matters, so possible na hindi sila makaka-attend kung bibiglayin mo yan siyang i-announce. So, the number 2 is be positive in approach. Start the conference with something positive and maintain the positive atmosphere. There is always something good in every student. Even if a student has performed poorly, try to find at least some areas in which the student has performed well. So, teacher, you should be positive approach. Dapat maging approachable ka sa pakikipag-communication sa mga concern of the parents. So, the number 3 is be objective. Why you should be positive, be truthful, and honest. Give an accurate picture of the student performance in order to not give false hope to parents. So, every teacher need to be a truthful and honest. So, dapat patang-patay yung ginagawa mo for your student. Do not be favoritism. So, dapat lahat ng mga concern mo for your student is dapat tama yung mga sinasabi mo sa parents ng bata. So, pwede ka rin magbigay ng evidence like mga picture, student performance. Pwede mo sabihin kung saan nahihirapan ang student to their mother. So, the number 4 is have a listening ear, act with empathy. Parents are parents. They will tend to favor their children. So, dapat, as a teacher, you need to be understand the concern of the parents kasi hindi naman you need to be understand kung saan sila nahihirapan na subject. Like, feel free to share your perspective. Like, ipa-feel mo sa kanila na handa mo silang pakinggan. So, dapat maging comfortable sila sa'yo. So, the number 5 is don't project an omniscient image. You don't know all the answer the question. Refer the parents to the right person. Example, the physics teacher if the problem is the child performance in physics. So, dapat ang teacher minsan hindi naman natin alam ang mga pinagdadaanan ng mga student. So, the number 7, I think it is the number 6, don't talk about other student. The focus of the parents-teacher conference should only be the parent's child. So, never compare the child with other student. So, the teacher is dapat hindi niya kino-compare yung estudyante niya, like, ito, hindi katulad ni ito na mas magaling. Okay. So, the number 8, end with an encouraging note in the same way that you begin with a positive note. It is not the end of the world. So, let's proceed to why report or communicate assessment result. So, we document our assessment process for accountability. So, teaching lead to assessing learning, reporting, and communicating assessment result. The assessment result shall be communicated clearly and accurately to learners as well as parents for improved learnings. So, reporting and communicating assessment result is essential for accountability in the educational process. Meaning to say, as a teaching lead to assessing learning, document this assessment ensure transparency and help hold education or teacher accountable for the equality of education provided. Meaning to say, clear and accurate communication of assessment is the result. Both learner and parents is crucial for fostering as an environment of improved learnings. Also, it is provide valuable insight into individual progress and areas for development. So, thank you for listening. That's all my report.